All right, peace and blessings, everybody. It's May the 25th, Friday, the year 2018. We're working our way through the free Lazor letters, and there are a lot of them. But we're going to work our way through. I will try to get this scanned and up on the website this weekend, and it's in my pile of things to do. But here we go. It was written on May the 11th, 2018. Rudy Davis. Greetings, Rudy and Aaron. Yahweh bless you and yours. Every now and then, we may need to fine-tune miscellaneous things, so this is one of those. Number 1. It's best to put my address on your envelopes to me exactly as above. No PF. I used to put PF and then free in quotes, but he doesn't like that. He just wants to be called Free Lazor. No quotes around free. No need to write the prior name. You can omit the P.O. box, the P.O. instead of box, and just put box. And you can omit the P.O. and just start the second line with box. But all else exactly as above is best. Number 2, Gail and Ken M. have been unsuccessful in reaching John Lamb or his family by phone, and none of us has his email or snail mail address. We are praying for his full and speedy and divine recovery, and would like to offer comfort and anything else needed to them. Can you open a door of contact there? Yeah, the only person I know that has contact with the John Lamb family is Kelly Stewart, but probably need to put Free Lazor in contact with Kelly, but I know she's extremely busy. We'll see if we can open a door there. If you guys know how to reach out to John Lamb, maybe write Free Lazor a letter and tell him how to get in contact with John Lamb. I have his phone number, but, you know, he's going through so much rehabilitation and recovery, I don't want to bother the man. He is in our prayers. I mean, John Lamb is just a very, very righteous man. We pray for his full recovery. Number 3, I have received your excellent screenshots from your UPS store. I took some screenshots of his webpage and mailed it to him through UPS. They have a lot better printer than I do. I never had a clue UPS had this service. Do they actually download the items and mail them? No, I have to send them a PDF file. So they actually do any photo printing work? I thought of getting a business card for me. Related kidnapped help. He's going to get a business card that says kidnapped help. I'm kidnapped in prison. I thought Vistaprint may be best from the TV ads only. If you know if they are good or bad, or if UPS does that, are they better? No, if you're going to get a business card, you better go to Vistaprint. And if you want color photos printed and mailed to somebody, UPS is your best bet. All right. Next point. I've dug out of one of 2 coroner Ozoa files, and I think you'll find it pretty amazing. I must wrangle to get a copy, and I hope to... Next page. Let me jump to the next page. His writing is a little tough to read. I hope to have it to you by next week. All right. Let me go to the next point. Thanks for the CCs of your letter to the BPH and their paper-related transcript fees. One thing that bothers me about BPH transcript is that we are not allowed in the hearings to generally and fully, if at all, contest hardly anything ever, though it probably appears we do. So all the slanders and libels, all the lies and false reports may appear valid to anyone reading them. This has actually been a wicked scheme by CDC to something, it's very hard to read, to have devised a means to get all their mendacious accusations against the targeted person out into the public purview, which was otherwise barred by law from disclosure to anyone. So just bear in mind as you read it that just because I didn't contest certain certain good allegations against me spamming 35 or 36 years does not mean I didn't want to contest, and doesn't mean that I couldn't disprove them as wicked lies. I often could. But the BPH scofflaws have always punished me extra for each of my acts of contesting their lies as being just that, and even greater punishment when I proved or revealed to them that I could prove their lies. That coerces me, along with the same pressure from my attorney, to not contest most of the lies. Another reason is that some years ago, my BPH, I think it stands for Bureau Board of Parole Hearing, told me that I had by far the longest parole hearing in California history. The sole reason for that was that I contested some of their lies, which were and always are so many that it piles up additional hours and hours of the length of the hearing, which they let me know they frown heavily on. Read, well, restate subtly of more years of my life stolen. The punchline on that longest ever California parole hearing is that I confronted only about 1 out of every 20 to 30 of their malicious falsehoods. So Rudy and Aaron, just keep all this in mind as you read the parole hearing, BPH transcripts. And also be mindful that the trial transcripts are at least 100 times worse in my something on that case. Totally barred from contesting almost everything against me. Even where it appears I could and did, most of that was restructured by my traitorous defense attorney to either bend my statements to what he personally dictated, mandated, all against my desire, or that he'd terminate my right to testify at all, and the jury could certainly find me guilty on that event. I had something I needed to hide from. What? Rehearing. Believing I had something I needed to hide from them. He even once at least did call a recess and pulled me off to the stand, browbeating me for contesting the lies by elite friends who perjured themselves to convict me regarding their something, my access to Ken Sharshall's pellet pistol, and insisted that I would not. Very hard to read his writing. I would not be permitted by him to resume any further testimony unless I would get back on the stand and recant what I had just truthfully testified to, and incriminate myself to holster the credibility of these witnesses who were lying to bury me in prison. I have no excuse for capitulating to his outrageous pressures, and certainly wouldn't do that who I am today. But back then I was much more naive and manipulatable by the one person on earth I was compelled to trust on that one thing that could save my life. He was a master of such suave manipulation and coercive pressure to get me to work against my own interest. He sent me straight to prison, and I, under his spell, helped him do it. Next point, number 7. This is very, very important. Your BPH explaining how you can get the transcripts of the parole hearings reminds me of this. My U.S. District Court habeas petition, dated about 2001, filed cautious more than any other document my main legal work of my legal issues that should have reversed my conviction. I'm sorry I'm having a hard time reading this, but his writing is really bad.
Let's see.
You can look at this.
boy.
It's a challenge, ain't it? There are no other copies of this anywhere besides maybe the Attorney General's office because of the CSC guard who destroyed all my legal files in 2011. The court told me long ago that at unspecified time in the future they will destroy all those documents, and the only way I could get a copy is pay a huge fee. It's probably between 700 and 1,000 pages, if not mostly exhibits. Once destroyed, all the work and proof of my innocence and of the court's criminal corruptions is gone forever. Could you please contact that court and see if there is a free email or otherwise online download? Here is the info. The title is something like "In related to P.F. Lazor on habeas corpus," and also may have versus Fargo, name of warden, respondent. I don't know the case number, but the judge was, I believe, Ronald W. M. White, or White. Filed in or about 2001. It should be easy to find with this info because I didn't file any other large, lengthy habeas corpus petition in the district court anywhere around that time. The petition itself is probably only about 50 pages, more or less, but the exhibits, which included the 300-plus page 3552, was hundreds of pages. I can never regather most of the exonerating data in that document. It will be gone forever. People have died, forgotten, etc. The data and work it contains is critical and unreplaceable. So this is what he put, very, very important. I've got to make a note on my things to do to try to hunt down that document, but I got to tell you, it's not really my thing, but I'll see what I can do. Number 8, if it's now 5/14/18 and I only now have found the letter buried in the piles of tens of thousands of pages never gets sent, I will add more here. Number 9, I dug out some papers, I think one pertinent, and even got copies of some to send you. Most excitedly, I have an old workup and the fraud and criminality of the coroner, Angelo Oza, in my trial. It was many years of devoted work with all the obstacles here, and I will send that to you under a separate cover, probably tomorrow. Before I address the other enclosures here, let me say one more thing about the end of our recent phone calls. Yes, BPH, parole board people, and CDC, same as CACR, the prison system, will retaliate against me and against parole release for my exposing of them, of their crimes, and proof that they are operating a human trafficking kidnapping ring, especially regarding me. I knew that before I embarked down this road, but they would keep finding other means to deny my release, based on their fraudulent concoctions and criminal schemes. And so I doubt I'll actually come behind in exposing these matters, and it doesn't make any sense, but and of course there is a hope that by doing the right thing, in not lying down and cowering under their wicked human trafficking human trafficking reprisals, we will in fact prevail at getting my freedom sooner, even though by a rockier road for me. I'm in the full ride to whatever degree is necessary. The alternative clashes with everything I started for and believe in. The depth of my conscience is the only right course to take. So he's basically responding to a question. I said, you know, he's exposing the corruption of all of these guards and what they've done to him and legal abuse syndrome. And I said, do you think they're going to have a reprisal against you? And he most certainly does. But he said he has the courage and the commitment to go through it with it anyway. Okay, here's an explanation of some enclosures. You can post all of these if you wish, but if you ever feel some are too don't have enough substance, or unclear, or for any other reason shouldn't be posted, I'll defer to your judgment on that. I am concerned that at some point I may conclude, or you may, that I've sent you too much. He does send me a lot of stuff. He's pushing. If he keeps doing this, he's going to be catching up to Russell Landers and Schaefer, because I got a lot of stuff from them too. The key will be getting someone, a team, to distill it to a keen focus to the degree that is possible. Okay, one page of Tribes film. There was a film called Tribes, T-R-B-E-S, and it was about a soldier that was brave enough to declare peace. I urge you to watch this film. Although it was in the 1970s when I saw it, my memory of it is that it is the best depiction I recall ever seeing about how one person, decent person, is so utterly hated by his superior who reluctantly abuses him. Who what? Relentlessly, sorry. Who relentlessly abuses him. That it may be the best way people could see in a dynamic, realistic way how the guards in here have singled me out for stalking mercilessly for 33 to 34 years, almost nonstop. In Tribes, it is one military superior, and here it's been literally somewhere around 2,000 guards, but all are something like the many active legs of a centipede. They all act like the many active legs of one centipede, because none of them acted independently in this campaign of terrorism. All were stirred up and incited from others after one or a few lethal ones started it. With the person incident explained in the 21-page declaration you now have. It's been so long since I saw Tribes, I hope my memory of it is not over-enhancing the value of it. I'll look forward to your response if you decide to access it and watch it. I forgot how it ends. Okay, so I gotta, man, you know what? If I don't write all this stuff down, I am going to forget. Hold on just one second. Oh, there's papers everywhere. The fan's on and the fan's blowing the papers everywhere. Hold it. My wife likes fans, but it's not good for... Okay, we got to watch this movie called Tribes. I got to look for legal document that he filed back in 2001, I think. Been in prison 35 years. Absolutely insanity. There are murderers.
For self-defense.
They've killed multiple people that get out long before... Rapist. That...
Files.
You know, there's no way he should be in prison 35 years. Okay, B. Letter from Dr. David and something, can't read it, psychologist, one of several. He is a Christian and a pastor, Church of God, a very good man. It's fine with me to post this, but you may wish to get his okay first. Ken has his email address. C, it's a letter, these are all the attachments that he's got with his own letter. Letter from my younger brother, who I don't hear from often. This letter was spurred, he's been in prison 35 years. It's got to be very, very difficult on the family. This letter was spurred mainly to counter the out of thin air lie started or invented by the BPH psychologist Susan Hoyt, who fabricated the slanderous claim that I am such a bad person that I don't even have the support of my family, which indicates I'm a danger to society. Go figure. Hoyt was one of... First of all, that's not true. Free Lazor has more support than almost anybody. I mean, I'm shocked at how many people that love and support Free Lazor, and he's got quite a few, hundreds actually, maybe over 200 or 300, 400. Hoyt was one of three very wicked mercenary psychologists who work for the BPH and give clearance to parole release to most something of career criminal murderers. He gives parole release to the most vicious of career criminal murderers who will grovel and make confessions before them, but target to destroy that rare person like me who won't do that and who has no criminal history, to use to that. Let me go to the next page here. Wow, he's got a lot of attachments. My goodness. Affidavit of Robbie Thorman, due to counter malicious lies by guards. Robbie has a rare mental illness that compels him to start suddenly slugging himself in the face and head for a minute or so. It's alarming and hard to live with. The guards put me in the cell with him and set me up with a false accusation of battery on him, as he bloodies up his own face and on a regular basis. But Robbie couldn't buy into the guard schemes of trying to set me up with violent accusations. That's insane. How would you like that to be your cellmate? One of my numerous letters and parole commissioner John Peck, who later stole my parole release, explaining how their so-called investigation would be worthless and counterproductive to me and the truth unless they let me actively participate and test with polygraph and voice stress analysis equipment about all the RVRs since 84 and 85. They refused. F. Another letter from me to Peck asking to carry through until the potential offer to abide by the law BPH regulations to supply me access to my prison file documents. He goes on to write about the letter with the parole board. A document by the dishonest internal affairs investigation led by Kevin Poole. Notice he wrote it to read 100% ambiguous to me and my colleagues. It reads when he was a confidential informant and I manipulated him. They say I manipulated him like that. Is not reliable, and therefore the investigation was in my favor. I'm going to skip down a little bit here. I'm not going to read all of it. It's just pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. Document of a false witness, confidential informants, list of 39 false RVRs, rule violation reports I was issued over the years. Go to the next page. It's just lots and lots of stuff. An article, newspaper which just recently closed its doors after 20 years. A letter published in something that assumed that paper concerning my plight. Oh, a letter about Lazor. Here's some details for follow-up in the rescue documents. The auto accident, too many great suspense that's totally forgotten. Okay, he says mail pickup is now, I must rush off, and he's going to send me some more information on the coroner, which he had a very corrupt coroner. The coroner was exposed as being corrupt. It wasn't just him saying that. It's well known. Thank you abundantly, and Yahweh's blessings to you and Aaron. So I skipped a lot of this. I'm going to try to go back and read it personally. I hate to skip any prisoner's letters, but he writes so much it's hard to read it all. And then in this is a lot of attachments. And so what I'm going to do is over the weekend, probably Sunday, I'm going to scan this whole thing, and you can read the whole thing if you care to. And please keep free in your prayers. He said that he was going through a very painful and difficult time. He believed it was because of food poisoning. And we just need to keep him in our prayers. Thank you for your time.